Our reading for this week focused on two key ideas: information systems, organizations, and strategy, and ethical and social issues for information systems. Regarding information systems, organizations, and strategy, our reading began with the definition of an organization, which is a stable, formal social structure that takes resources from the environment and processes them to produce outputs. This is simple in concept, but today's organizations are extremely complex due to the information systems that they employ. As discussed in our reading, changing the elements of an organization takes a lot of time and resources, and this is even more true for information systems due to their complexities. As even the infrastructure is built, it takes time to ensure that all staff are trained to properly make use of the new information systems. However, with the added cost of infrastructure and training come the benefits, as information systems can be used to increase production significantly. Generally speaking, information technology can replace middle management and clerical workers, as their labor is completed in less time and often cheaper using technology. This allows companies to stay smaller while still producing as much as their historically larger counterparts. Because of this, organizations are flatter, as they do not need as many managers, and employees are able to receive the information they need to be more independent. Although information systems can greatly enhance the productivity of a company, a major risk of updating information systems of a company is the organizational resistance to change. This is due to entire processes and jobs being changed as a part of the update, which leads to employees pushing back and resisting the changes, as they have become accustomed to the status quo of the company. When implemented poorly, companies have wasted investments in information systems due to this organizational resistance. Research into this phenomenon have determined that to bring about change in an organization, the technology, tasks, structure, and people must all simultaneously change together. This has been described as unfreezing an organization temporarily, restructuring, and then refreezing the organization by institutionalizing that change. Chapter 4 of our book discusses the ethical and social issues posed by information systems. It discusses the 5 moral dimensions of the information age: information rights and obligations, such as what rights do individual and organizations possess and what can they protect; property rights and obligations, how will individual property be protected when ownership is difficult to trace and it is easy to ignore the rights of others; accountability and control, who can and will be held accountable for harm done to information and property rights; system quality, what standards of data and quality can society demand to protect individual rights; and quality of life, what values should be preserved and what institutions should be protected. While there are laws that attempt to address these areas, there is no right answer regarding ethical and social issues, as there are always 2 sides to the situation, and there can be positive and negative consequences no matter the outcome. For instance, companies may want to compile information about consumers to better anticipate customer needs. While this can benefit consumers by providing them with suggestions for products that meet their needs, it can also be viewed as an invasion of privacy. This week, I have selected an article entitled "Building AI Capabilities into Portfolio Companies at Apollo" from MIT Sloan Management Review for my additional reading. In this article, the authors Thomas Davenport and Randy Bean discuss the current strategy of Apollo Global Management of using artificial intelligence, also known as AI, to improve the productivity of the companies that it invests in. This could be an excellent strategy, as Apollo itself uses private equity to invest in these companies and can use that pool of equity to invest in the companies that it sees as great investments. As noted in Chapter 3, adding information systems to a company such as these AI systems requires time and effort to incorporate into these organizations, which is why Apollo has a process to evaluate the risks of adding AI to a company while also evaluating the benefits that AI capabilities could add. They take a long-term perspective of not just the company, but also the industry to determine the best use of AI and whether the investment is worth the risk. If Apollo deems the use of AI to be worth the risk, it then evaluates all products and projects within the company to determine the best way to incorporate AI. By diligently reviewing the companies and selectively investing in only the companies that would benefit the most from AI technology, Apollo is doing its best to mitigate the risks of organizational risk to change and maximizing the gains to the company.